Welcome to Podnutz Pro, show number 35. This is the show where we take you from being a home PC tech and introduce you to the world of networking and routers and switches and Cat6 cable and all type of terms that you probably never heard of before. So along with Matt Rainey and I, there's folks in the chat room in the community that help your life be a little bit easier. Co-host star of the show, without him there would be no show, Mr. Matt Rainey. How you doing, sir?
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
Cool.
It's been a long day. How you doing?
Good. It's been a long week. The place that I work at, the building lost power yesterday, so that was fun.
That's fun when it happens for a long time, because then you're just on break.
Yeah, but in the meantime, there's work that has to be done, so my queue gets longer and longer. So, but quite interesting because the building that I work in has 28 floors, and the whole building got knocked out, and we occupy all 28 floors.
Wow.
The backup generators kicked in where all the major production equipment and servers still stay online, but everybody who had a desktop was down, and it wasn't anything that we did or we failed to do. It's just the electric company. Something happened on the back end, but the second time in 10 years that power went out, which is not that bad considering we are in Tampa, Florida, the lightning capital of the U.S. So
Now, do you have battery backups on the workstations as well?
on some of them, but not all of them. Like, the main circuits got fried. So, but all the servers, all the core, the switches, and all that good stuff remained up. So that was good.
I can imagine 28 floors of it, if they all had battery backups, all the beeping you're going to be hearing for.
Put it this way, I'm on floor 21, and I had to walk down and walk back up because the elevators were not working.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yep. Anyways, Mr. Man.
Well, I tell you what, how my day started today.
How?
Now, we won't go over the specifics about this in this show, but my first call was, of course, server down. And basically what happened was this lady logs into the server, which, of course, we'd never recommend a user logging into the server, but she logs into the server to do something, and I'm not even sure what she does because we didn't set that up. So whatever she was trying to do wasn't working. So she called tech support for the software that she was trying to work on, and they were trying to have her put a CD in the server. Pretty standard, eject button for the CD-ROM drive.
Right.
Although, instead of pressing the eject button for the CD-ROM drive, she pressed the power button on the server and held it until the server shut down.
Ooh.
So, of course, they realized quickly what they did. Turn the server back on, email's not working. So what happened? Corrupted Exchange databases. So my first call was to repair Exchange database for them. So, and not to mention what I had scheduled already during the day, and other calls coming in. I'm also dealing with this in the meantime. So that's how my day started. So,
for folks that are wondering, can you give a brief overview how you would repair that Exchange a database?
Briefly, there's some tools. ESC has some repair features, which is a built-in utility for Exchange. You can run tests using, I think it's ISINTEG, for test the integrity of the information store, and then you can use ESC utilities to repair it. And if all that's unsuccessful, of course, we had a backup. I could have restored from backup, but I didn't want to do that, and I didn't have to. So,
cool. How long were they down throughout this whole process?
I got him back up around 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay. Matt Rainey, saving the day.
Of course, yeah, that wasn't dedicated time. I'd start something, I'd go work on 5 other things, and I'd check on it, and then, of course, lunch calls. So
yeah, yeah.
Finally, when I realized it was up and working, it was 3 o'clock. I called them and said, "You're back up." Of course, they were working everything else but email. So,
for especially when it's something they're doing. I mean, I got it back up there pretty quickly. So.
In fact, when I told her they were back up, she goes, we're going to fix this. It's never going to happen again. I said, "Oh, really? So how did we fix it?" They said, we took a quarter and we taped the quarter over the power button on the server. Excellent. Good. That's going to work until somebody needs a quarter.
I want those bag of Ruffles. I need a quarter. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, that's right. Where'd my quarter go? Yeah. So
All right, man. So what's show number 35 all about?
a few things. Mostly it's a just some things I've been working on that are some common problems
Okay.
I find, especially one when dealing with ISPs. Uh, that was a long and frustrating road. But the first thing I want to mention real quick is I think I've talked about RDX drives before, and those are those removable discs. They're like big tapes, but they're actually hard drives in a tape cassette format. So it looks like a big tape drive, a little bit bigger than, let's say, like an LTO tape drive. So, but they're removable hard drives, and they're RDX drives. So it appears as removable storage to Windows. And we've been using these on servers. They're larger than tape drives, and it's price comparable, but it's easy to swap these out. So let's say you have a tape drive that has 200 gigabyte tapes, and you've got a tape drive that matches those tapes. If you need more tape backup storage, you got to get a new tape drive that has bigger tapes. With the RDX drive, you can just buy new RDX cartridges that have more storage. You don't change stuff out. So
Sweet.
but as nice as the RDX drives are, and they can be nice, they can be bad. Small Business Server 2011 does not support them, strangely enough. They decided not to support that in Small Business Server 2011 and any other server product that has the same backup engine. So that's 2011 Essentials, 2011 Windows Storage Server 2008 R2. They will not support the RDX tapes. You have to, if you want to use that, you've got to get a third-party backup software to write to them. And from the article I read, they think it has something to do with the ejection mechanism, because when you load these RDX tapes, it's not like a regular tape because it has a button on the front, but there's software to load for that to work properly. Even on the servers we've done, you have to load that software so the buttons on the front work. So whatever reason, they're not supporting those. I was hoping to use that at a client's office and not have to buy them backup software.
Right. And as Matt Rainey said, and as Computer Pro in the chat room stated, this only relates to the Windows native, the backup. Like Matt said, if you buy a third party, you should be able to use these drives.
Right. And then we found this out the hard way because we were trying to get one that working and would not recognize it. The option just was not there to back up to it. So a little searching, some Googling, and we find out it's not going to work. So
that's sad.
Save yourself some headache. RDX tapes, you'll need a third-party backup software if you're going to use them. And they're nice because they're little cartridges. So a user can just take that out, pop it in their purse or their bag, whatever, just like a tape, and take it off site. You don't have to worry about the eject safe, remove device safely or whatever. Plug in a new one, see if it gets the same drive letter. You don't have those headaches. RDX tape, it's going to always have the same tape drive letter, and it takes that out of it. So it's easier in that respect as opposed to hard drives for users to be plugging them in and unplugging them. So that's the first thing. Just a quick note on that. Just beware of those. Another thing, this is gonna be a longer story. This was actually very frustrating.
I like when you start with this is gonna be a longer story.
Yeah. So, and strangely enough, this client who I'm going to be talking about moving to this new ISP is the same one who shut their server down and corrupted the Exchange database.
The quarter.
Yeah, the quarter. They're a quarter there. So they would decide that we're going to get a new internet provider. So they called me. What do we do? Well, when you pick your ISP, let us know, and we can coordinate with them to get you back up and running. But whatever you do, don't cancel your existing ISP service until we get the other one up and running, so that way we can avoid downtime. Now there are two locations across town from each other. So they said, no problem, we'll give you a call. Well, they gave me a call, and the call was, we're down. Can you come now? And of course, what happened? Why are you down? Well, we got the new people here for the new ISP, and we can't get online. I said, okay, well, I, I thought we had agreed that we would schedule this, and we could work with them. We can come up with a schedule. It's not really available right now. Uh, but they were down. What they did was they canceled their old ISP for whatever reason, and now they're trying to get this one up, and they're having issues. So I go out there, or we go out there, and for some reason, they've given us a block of 10 IPs. This is a DSL connection. And the tech is having trouble, one, because he doesn't have our router login, so he can't do anything with our router. And so we go in there and we program the router. He gives us the PPPoE username, password, and it connects. He says, great, it's all working. I say, whoa, hold on. It's not working. Look at the IP address I'm getting. I'm getting this IP address, and it's not anywhere in the same scope or range of block that you've given me. I need to be pulling the static IP address. This is a business. We have Exchange server. We have VPN tunnels. I need a static IP address. He says, well, I don't know about that. You have to call support. Okay, so he leaves because that's not his job, of course. So on the phone with support, and it's the typical runaround. You have to explain everything to every person you talk to.
I hate that.
The first person you talk to, explain to them, you've given me this block of 10 IPs. When I set the PPPoE password username, I'm not pulling in any one of those. I only need one static IP address. I don't need a block. One is sufficient for this customer. Oh, it's no problem. We can get it working this way. So all you need to do is do this, 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 and this. We try that. Of course, it doesn't work. Well, let me escalate to somebody else. Next person, you got to explain everything again from the start. And this went on over the course of 2 or 3 days, by the way. This is not a one afternoon phone call.
2 or 3 days?
2 or 3 days with the runaround with the ISP. They were telling us things to do that were just ridiculous, and I knew they weren't going to work. But
Like?
yeah, they said maybe you need to get a different router. I said, okay, why would I need a different router? Maybe it's a problem with your router. They said, well, my router's been working here for a couple of years. It works because I'm able to get online. I'm just not getting the IPs that you say I should be getting. So do you think another router is going to do anything differently? So I had to go get another router.
Jeez.
I had to put it in because
Let's figure it.
you have to prove it to them that it's not that, so they can move on. Because they won't let it go. So once I had another router, and this is after, of course, I already put a notebook on the connection and set up the PPPoE connection, and the same thing happened. They
Now-
wanted another router.
Now, for the folks at home, why is it that you doing that? What did that prove?
Well, that takes the router out. That's their connection right to a computer.
Exactly. A lot of times the ISPs will have you do that, so then it eliminates your equipment being a source of the issue.
So we went through all this, and then they finally said, we're going to send a tech out. Okay, when will he be here? Tomorrow. That's fine. He comes out with a notebook. He connects it to the same thing we already did, and he sees the same issue. It's not pulling the right IP. When we put the IP information in, like we just picked one,
Right.
it doesn't connect. And this went on for a couple of days. Now, the whole time this client's down, no internet connectivity, because for some reason, they already canceled the other ISP, which I told them not to do.
Mm-hmm.
So in the end, after I've already told 6, 7 different techs, again, we only need one IP. Finally, somebody says, "Oh, if you just need one IP, we can get that up and running right now." So, well, that's great. And I've told everyone that for the past 2 or 3 days that we only need one. Oh, well, no problem. So this person, the last person I talked to, which of course is the last person because it started working, he did something on their end. He said, "Okay, release, renew, try it now," and it worked. it took